enhancements. I have not touched Elemental or Resto, so I have no info or comment on those specs. So apparently, Enhanced Shaman is like the weakest DPS. Looking at the charts, I mean, uh, I guess you still get value being a tank, I guess, yeah. But apparently, it just don't pump as hard as melee hunters. I mean, I haven't gotten to DPS in the raid yet. I've only tanked it like once, did the first four bosses for Nomer. But yeah, let's do a quick overview of all the talents and shit that I've picked up. So like same stuff from phase one here. I added in two-handed axes and maces. And the thing about the two-handed mastery rune is like it's not, it's not that great. Like if you're running two-hand build, you probably also want to be running lava burst because you're not really gonna get much out of you can't use lava lash, right? And this is like an AOE for. I mean, like I guess maybe you could put aspect or spirit of the alpha on the main tank. You could get away with that adding in molten blast for some AOE, but we can also be dropping totems and shit. Like at this point, like this is probably the best for AOE right here. Fire Nova. It basically like lowers the amount of mana that it would have cost if it was in its totem form. Like let's pop it on. It's like 280 mana and it's a 15-second cooldown. It changes to a 10-second cooldown and does more damage and costs less mana. So it's just like this is the go-to. You just drop like a magma totem, Fire Nova on cooldown. You'll be pretty good on like AOE DPS. Well, as a tank, anyways, good AOE threat. Yeah, back to talents. So like, two, as much as people really wanted 200, it's like underperforming. The main reason is because people rock Maelstrom weapon, and what this does is like you get like a buff, and once you stack it up to like 5 times, you get like an instant cast for free. You could also use like partial amounts of this buff to like get a faster cast and slightly more reduced mana for it. So I mean, you could like cast like a chain lightning at like 3 or 4 stacks type of deal. And with two-hander, even with the two-hand mastery rune, you're not really gaining as much Maelstrom proc as you would if you were dual wielding. But I've yet to actually. It might actually be the same. No, yeah, definitely faster with dual wield. I believe having Wind Fury would allow it to proc more often as well, but having Wind Fury kind of cucks our damage from Lava Burst if you're going two-hander, because you definitely want to go Lava Burst, right? Yeah. So this kind of scales off of attack power just like Molten Blasts. So I don't know. You get less attack power from if you're using Wind Fury, but if you got Rock Biter on, then Lava Burst hits harder, right? So there's conflicting things happening here, but that's just like for the AoE DPS. Yeah, back to talents. Like, if you want, you could move this somewhere else to like a utility, like enhancing totems or like improved weapon totem, perhaps. We're not getting toughness because this talent is really ass. I never take it in any classic iteration because it doesn't account for the extra armor from like armor enchants, armor gain from agility. But like with our gear setup, like we barely got any agility. It's more or less like strength and stam from the gear that we get from SM. I mean, that's where most of my gear is from here. I still have like rings from phase one, same trinkets. Only new weapon I got was like from Nomer. I think it just drops off of the 4th boss here. It's Muffler. And this is from the Maelstrom weapon quest. I think like part ways through you get this, or it's like right at the end type of deal. And it's just a bit better than the bracers I had from phase one. But yeah. This comes from the rare spawn, iron spawn. Yeah. Going off on the gear here. A lot of this is just from Scarlet Monastery. Then we're going to pick up parry. Going to pick up elemental weapons, storm strike, weapon mastery. This is just the tank build. So, I mean, if you wanted to like hybrid kind of, you could go, let's see. like between DPS. This can be used for DPS and tanking, but maybe if you're like more on the DPS side, you could be taking points sort of anticipation to put points into enhancing totem and improve weapon totem. But I mean, depends on how you want to play your shaman. If you're gonna tank or DPS, I'd imagine most raids probably want you as like a healer or tank over DPS, or at least Ellie. I'm pretty sure Ellie pops off more than enhancements, but I just have no Ellie gear on me, or I'd give it a whirl. And yeah, that's the talents. Pretty straightforward. I generally rock this every time I level up to, well, actually, the first time I get to 40, this is what it looks like, and then once the next patch comes out, we're going to be putting points into elemental to get like warding and focus, reverberation as well. But yeah, that's for another video. I could cover the new runes here. Like I said, mainly it's the waste runes here. Fire Nova's AoE. This is like a mix. Like you could use it for instant cast heals, which also does AoE threat. I mean, we don't really have an AoE threat problem. Yeah, instant like chain lightning. You could even use it for instant lava burst. I believe it says somewhere on there. Basically, all our casted spells, whether it be a heal or damaging spell, you can make them instant with this. And power surge. This is more of an RNG thing because I mean, with the cooldown on flame shock, it's 6 seconds, so you're only gonna be able to get like 2 flame shocks rolling for like 10%, I guess, chance overall. But I mean, at 5%, that's like a really low. It's RNG, but that would help you basically get an instant cast more often. Like if you have good luck, power surge could be better than maelstrom, but I haven't like fucked around in dungeons to like see which one's better. But I mean, like maelstrom just seems like the way to go, honestly, because it's more guaranteed, like as you're building up the stacks type of deal, and this is like 5% chance. This might be useful in PvP. I mean, additionally, you regenerate mana equal to 50% of your intellect, so you don't really got much intellect with this kind of gear. I mean, this seems like something maybe an Ellie Shaman would have, perhaps. Is you got int gear as that, right, for mana management. 200 mastery, like, every time you hit, like, you just permanently have 30% more attack speed. I mean, it's a 10-second buff, but, like, you're always hitting, right? Yeah. This may come in handy with like troll racial and the boon buff. Like it increases haste as well, but I think it's more multiplicative than additive, or I might be mixing those up. I'm not a mathematician. Then there's like the crowd pummeler from the crowd pummeler boss, right? That has like an on-use haste in for like 50% hastes. So all those things like on top of each other, you'd be like with the two-hander, but I don't have all these things, so yeah. If you're DPSing or you're just out in the open world, like gonna rock dual wields and dual wield rune with lava lash. I mean, you could rock alternatively. She calls it lava burst, but I like the solid fluid gameplay of lava lash and storm strike. Yeah. So that's the belt runes. Not, I mean, yeah. Kind of underwhelming. I mean, it's a nice AoE boost here. Nice single target utility spell. Kind of RNG damage. Spirit of the Alpha is probably going to be like one of the more useful ones. Well, like decoy totem. Now this has like an extra thing to it. Like it makes the next move, physical move, go to the totem, but it also gives us like this thing here, immune to movement impairing effects. So I have a feeling you could use that for the last boss on phase 2, or I think it's the ice phase of the last boss in Nomer, where people would be using FAPs, but I'd probably imagine FAPs better. But I mean, if you had like a few shamans, you could chain this. Like, yeah, first one pops it between 2 guys, and then the other guy pops his, and then by the time that second decoy totem is off cooldown, yours will be up. So 2 shamans could go between decoy totem, but I don't know if like there's threat issues, then like one of the I guess shamans puts a Spirit of the Alpha on the tank if there's like threat issues. If not, yeah. And then this is like a healing thing. It's I'm not gonna use that for tank, but yeah, summon like a little spirit that helps you whenever you heal, right? something like that. Yeah. So I mean, there's not super huge amounts of variety in playing enhanced tank or DPS, but yeah, I mean, it feels fluid once you get Storm Strike. Got a couple of instant attack melee abilities, and yeah, Rockbiter versus Wind Fury. Like I said, I think you get more better Maelstrom like proc generation with Wind Fury because you're getting that much more extra hits in, but Rockbiter is just way more DPS. Like it's baseline increasing your attack power, so that would increase things like mentioned earlier, Lava Burst. I'm pretty sure that's what DPS were doing anyways in BFD. Like for their hand rune, they weren't using Lava Lash; they were using Lava Bursts. So yeah, it's kind of a weird rotation as DPS because like you're not Way of Earth, you'd be Shamanistic Rage. So it's like you gotta like get the Storm Strike buff up into a Flame Shock into Lava Burst, and as Lava Burst is finishing casting, you go into like an Earth Shock, so if those like crit, you can get some huge bursty damage. But yeah, it's a different rotation, I guess, from using the same old Lava Lash. I think that would be more for tanking, honestly, but when I was tanking Nomer, like, things fucking hit hard, even though I'm in mail and everything. I was definitely rocking Shield Mastery and, like, a shield for sure, so I think I was just mainly Water Shield, I believe. Or I might have went Lava Burst. I'd have to look back at the VOD where I was doing that. Or, no, just Camp Molten Blast, honestly. But maybe on bosses go to Lava Burst. But then again, you're tanking, you're gonna get like spell knockback, so maybe not. Maybe it's just Molten Blast, Water Shields. I've tried tanking some bosses with Lava Lash, and like the healer's like, no man, you gotta go shield. Like I'm basically just taking too much damage. Obviously no shield, right? Therefore healers are like going so it's I tried, right, but I can't really dual wield all the bosses in Nomer like you could in BFD. So I don't know. I mean, we got the air totem as well, so we got grounding totem, wind fury. Still no agi totem though, so yeah. Anything else new that like? Oh yeah, we got totemic projection. This is actually a neat little pull thing. Like when I'm in SM, to pull like a full hallway, I'll just be like, ugh. Then they kill the totem and start running to me. Like it saves me from running to them. So this is like a little quality of life for like tanking, honestly. Like or have Fire Nova totem and be like, oh, it's gonna explode on you now. Boom. Kind of like it reminds me of like a retail combo where you could do that, move your totems, but there was a totem called capacitor totem, and it kind of worked like Fire Nova. Once it counts down, it'll stun like it does an AoE stun to everyone. So like how you would land that was using totemic projection. I don't know if they had that in retail. That was like during like Warlords of Draenor. Totally off topic, but yeah. Kind of underwhelming. I'm probably gonna level up my Shadow Priest, maybe play that more than this, but I'm more known for Shaman tanking, so got this guy, well this gal out of the way. I don't think I'll level my second Shaman tank right away. I want to try playing Priest with all their one-shot abilities. Have fun with that before it gets nerfed. Oh yeah, we get parry and everything, but yeah. Got the BFD mail thing here. Like one of the only other pieces I kept besides the rings, and yeah, I still had leather BFD thing, well, wrist for a decent amount of time until I did the Maelstrom rune quests. Yeah, decoy totem looks kind of useful. Like that's probably gonna have a good amount of usage in PvP, and like I said, for the last boss in Nomer, for phase 2, the ice phase, this could probably help. I mean, at that point, everyone's probably just going to bring free action potions for that, because the last 30 seconds, this is only 10 seconds, so. But yeah, I could see myself using this more baseline, unless I have threat issues, then I'll just Spirit of the Alpha, unless I got like another Shaman, they could just Spirit me and I could camp Decoy Totem. Yeah. Phase 2 Shaman. I mean, I would rate it like 4 out of 5 stars. not super boring, not super pog. It's like in the middle. But I mean, obviously on a DPS like logs and shit, apparently enhance is just like almost bottom. It's just ahead of Frost Mage. So maybe we'll get some buffs, maybe not. Copium. Yeah, there's my little kind of review slash guide of Shaman enhancement Shaman, like tank and DPS. All right, thanks. Bye.